continent's shield or a empire's. Plain codes their blood hums neutrality with silent alchemy, packed with the powerful. 5 children stand mutated at the forest's edge, survivors of the trial's 70% kill rate. Their blood hums with alchemy. Yennefer's lilac robes flicker as the wild hunt gallops through the sky, their shadows stitching the rift wider. What if every monster you killed was a tax payment to the Empire? Neutrality a shield or a shackle, the code's neutrality a silent pact with the powerful. Each contract a coin in the Empire's coffers. Striga's, Leshen's, Wyverns each kill funnels mutagen into Nilfgaard's war machine. What if the trial of the grasses isn't sacrifice but a census, a tally of resources for the next campaign? The lodges balance a ledger of war profits. How many villages burn to fund the very peace they seek? How many children marked by the signs, only to become collateral in a war they fed? The Witcher's sword cuts both ways, monster and empire equally fed. What if every monster you killed was a tax payment to the Empire? The conjunction of the spheres did not merely unleash monsters, it forged a dependency. Witchers, mutated to kill what the spheres birthed, became both solution and solvent. The Lodge of Sorceresses, ever pragmatic, brokered their services as peacekeepers during the Northern Wars. Nilfgaard's advance mirrored their contracts. Each Hydra's head severed, each Striga's heart claimed, funneled through a shadow ledger. Not gold but leverage, monster remains traded to alchemists whose formulas fueled Nilfgaardian war machines. The Witchers called it *work*, the Empire called it *tribute*. How many beasts slain were not aberrations but calculated surpluses? The Lodge turned blind eyes, their magic could not bend steel, only diplomacy. Witchers, bound by contract, never asked where their spoils flowed. Until the wars ended and the contracts did not, the same hands that signed peace treaties now signed hunting permits, the same hands that wrote them, the same hands that paid. The trial of the grasses is no rite of passage, it is a debt collector in human skin. Sapkowski writes of mutated flesh not as a tool but as tribute. Every contract sealed with blood becomes a ledger monstrous, measurable, monetized. The Witchers do not choose this, they are chosen by the Empire's hunger. Nilfgaard's war machines do not run on oil or iron, they run on mutagenic poison distilled from the very creatures Witchers slay. The contracts pay for armies, the contracts pay for sieges. The contracts pay for the silence of a world that calls them monster killers, not monster taxmen. What if every monster you've ever killed was a tax payment to the Empire? The Witcher's blades are not justice, they are audit forms. Every claw, every fang, every drop of venom funneled into vials becomes a coin in the war chest of a regime that will never name its debt. They call it balance. Balance is a lie, the trial's 70% death rate is not a flaw, it is a feature. A purging of the weak, a pruning of those who might ask too many questions. Those who survive do not hunt for coin, they hunt to repay a loan they never signed. The Empire does not need Witchers, it needs their complicity. And in the end, every contract is a confession. I am not a hunter, I am a ledger entry, I am the cost of war. What if every monster you've ever killed was a tax payment to the Empire? Letho of Gullet did not hunt a Striga, he hunted a king. Foltest of Temeria bled into the snow, his death a checkmark on a Nilfgaardian ledger. Witchers do not choose their contracts, they are chosen. Each coin in their purse is a cog in a war machine. Every claw, every fang, every corpse funneled to alchemists who whisper *resource* instead of * remains *. The Lodge of Sorceresses knew this. Yennefer of Vengerberg, Philippa Eilhart, their magic was not just power, it was leverage. They bent to the Empire's will, or they bent to survive. Their alliances were transactions. Their prophecies, chess moves in a game where Witchers are pawns and kings alike. You think the Northern Wars were fought with steel, they were fought with silence, with Witchers who became executioners. With sorceresses who traded spells for stability. Do you hear it, the grind of that pipeline? A monster slain in Towsaint, a Hydra gutted in Keedwin. Each one a deposit into an account no banker can see. The Lodge turned a blind eye, the Empire turned a profit, and the Witchers, they turned their blades, again. Until the line between hunter and hunted blurred into a ledger's ink. You have read the Black Ledger, you have not, it is not a book. It is a truth etched into every battlefield, every contract is a confession. I am not a hunter, I am a ledger entry, I am the cost of war. They call us monster hunters, they call it justice, But contracts are not coin, they are collars. Each sigil stamped, each head delivered, funnels into the war chests of emperors. The Nilfgaardian quills who draft these parchments do not weep for the monsters. They tally mutagen yields, not lives lost. You think the Witchers stand apart, we are the gears. We are the quiet hum of empire, our blades sharpened by the same hands that forge swords for conscripts. Geralt of Riviano, Geralt * of Blaviken * knew this. When he refused to let the town burn, when he turned his silver against the invaders, they called him Butcher, a title he wore like a second skin. For what is a butcher if not a man who skins the truth? He saw the math, every Striga's head, every Leshen's heart, buys regiments. The so-called neutrality of our order is a lie etched in blood. To hunt is to fund. To accept a contract is to sign a war's payroll. The chroniclers will not write this. They prefer their legends untainted, but the numbers do not lie. How many heads for how many cannons? How many mutations traded for occupied cities? Neutrality is a myth. The Witcher who claims it is a fool or a traitor. The ledger is not ink on vellum. It is the weight of every head in every emperor's vault. And I am no longer willing to carry it. 217 words. The vellum reeks of iron and old magic, each contract a thread in the empire's noose. They pay in silver, but demand the soul of every monster's last breath. What if our blades are but tax collectors for a war that never ends? The quill scratches on, and the deeper question is still ahead. The wolf school's halls echo with silence. Ashes of burned herb scrolls cling to Kaer Morhen's stones, where the trial of the grasses once breathed life into Witchers. Without its formula, no child may be made, no hunter, no balance. The monsters fade, Strigas, Leshens, griffins swallowed by a continent that no longer needs them, and yet the contracts keep coming. Silver coins stack in iron chests, each one a requiem for a beast that may not exist. Nilfgaard's warlords do not hunt monsters, they hunt Witchers, not to kill but to bind. The Lodge of Sorceresses, with its veiled promises and honeyed treaties, ensures the old orders persist not as guardians, but as gears. Their quills sign not to protect the weak, but to fund the next siege. Every Striga's fang, every griffin's feather, is ground into tinctures that sharpen soldiers' eyes, steady their hands. The Witcher's blade is no longer a shield, it is a ledger entry, a tax. What becomes of a hunter when the prey is a myth? The schools wither, the code crumbles. Yet the lodge whispers, * adapt, * train Witchers not to slay but to obey. Let them track not monsters but descent. Let their mutations make them immune to poisons, resistant to fear-perfect tools for an empire that wars not with armies but with will. The last true Witcher stands at the edge of a forest that no longer holds monsters. His contract is signed in blood, his payment in silver and silence. Behind him, Kaer Morhen's ruins weep. Ahead, a war that will outlive its reason. The deeper truth is this: the Witcher's curse is not their mutations. It is the lie that their purpose matters. The continent does not need them. It uses them. And when the final monster falls, the final Witcher will kneel not before a beast, but before the hand that paid him to die. What if every monster you've ever killed was a tax payment to the Empire? The Witcher Code's neutrality is a doctrine of denial. Witchers do not serve kingdoms, they service a war machine. Each contract, each drop of quillwork ink funnels resources to Nilfgaard's coffers. Monster flesh is not waste, it is currency. The Lodge of Sorceresses, with Yennefer's hand in its design, codifies this exchange. Their trial of the grasses is no sacred rite. It is a levy on potential, a tax on fate itself. Sapkowski's saga masks this in the fog of Geralt's wanderings, but the math is stark. Every Striga skinned, every Leshen silenced, extends the Empire's reach. Witchers are not hunters, they are harvesters. Their neutrality is the neutrality of the tool. The Code's silence on where payment originates is its truest betrayal. Nilfgaard's armies do not march on steel alone. They march on the labor of those who believe themselves above politics. Geralt's Rivia, a fiction, his contracts, a ledger of complicity. The moral paradox is no accident, it is the engine. Witchers are not victims of empire, they are its alchemists, transforming horror into hegemony, one corpse at a time. The final Witcher will not kneel to a beast. He will kneel to the system he built. The archives no longer chronicle hunts, they tally bodies. Each ledger entry a talistone for Nilfgaard's coffers. Who benefits when a Witcher slays a Leshen? The client pays, the Empire collects. Mutagen harvests fuel their war machines. not just gold, blood, tissue, scaled bones, each prize funneled through a clientelist web. Kings sign contracts, emperors sign the receipts. Geralt's silver line, asterisk I kill monsters for coin, asterisk a lie polished as the blade that cuts both ways. His blade does more than kill, it liquidates. Every Striga's, every griffin becomes collateral. The monster's death is a down payment on an army's next campaign. The last Witcher did not kneel to beasts. He knelt at the altar of supply and demand. Now his kin follow, blind to the ledger's ink-stained truth. Their work is the war's first casualty. What remains when the monster is gone? A void the empire fills with more wars. More contracts, more blood tax. The archives, once proud, now whisper in cipher. They know the cost, they are the cost. The next time you watch a Witcher strike, see not a hero but a ledger entry. A tax collector in a fox pelt. His sword does not slay, it signs. The trial of the grasses leaves no true survivor. Its poisons are not just in the soil but in the hands that plant the seeds. To choose is to collaborate. The Witcher's ledger is not ink on parchment, it is the breath of empires, the silent engine of conquest. Each contract a coin in the war chest. Each monster a sacrifice to the machine that devours its own children. What does it mean to kill when the alternative is to be killed by the same hand? The Witcher does not ask, the Witcher calculates. A Hydra's head falls and a general's mutagen stirs. A Striga's heart burns and a soldier's strength grows. The cost is not measured in silver. It is etched in the hollows of the soul. In the quiet before dawn, Geralt does not sleep. He remembers the faces of those who begged him to choose differently. He remembers they are dead. The powerful call it balance. The powerless call it theft. A ledger that never closes. A war that never names its true enemy. What tax is paid not in coin but in the right to exist? The Witcher's blade is not a symbol. It is a transaction. Every swing whispers, asterisk you are here because you are needed. Asterisk not to save, not to protect, but to feed the hunger that wears a crown. The trial of the grasses teaches this. There are no neutral fields, only harvests, only hands stained with the blood of the harvest. And the question that haunts every step when the reaper asks for your name, will you answer as a man or as a number? The chains hum, light fractures where they meet the air. A voice not quite sound murmurs through the iron, asterisk this is what you chose. Asterisk Geralt's eyes are closed. Yennefer's lips are open, as if the words have left her mouth and not the other way around. The Jinn's script curls around their wrists, old magic, older debts. The camera retreats. A wound in the sky pulses below the Temerian horizon. The conjunction rift, still raw after 1,000 years, bleeds a slow, golden ichor. Not light, not quite. A thing that asterisk hungers asterisk to be called light. Contracts are currency. Blood is currency. The Empire knows this. Knows the Witcher's ledger is no ledger at all, it is a tally of lives bartered to keep the Nilfgaardian gears turning. Each sigil on a contract, a drop in the vial. Each monster's death, a coin in the coffers. The rift widens, the chains glow. The whisper returns, fainter now, asterisk you were never free. Asterisk in the wound in the sky asks in a voice like wind through bone, asterisk what remains when the harvest is done. What if the black ledger isn't a myth? That wound in the sky is a ledger entry or blood, their coin. Every contract signed, a silent tax. Nilfgaard's war machines run not on gold but on what Witcher's harvest. Not flesh, not bone, something older. Ciri's elder blood a key to doors the Empire will burn to claim. They do not seek to stop the war, they seek to widen it, to fuel it, to weaponize the very fabric of realms. What if the next war isn't fought on